Welcome to our deep dive into neighborhood revitalization.
Oh, yeah.
We're going behind the scenes of the Baltimore Regional Neighborhood Initiative,
Okay.
BRNI.
BRNI.
And it's not just about Baltimore City.
Right.
BRNI is making waves across the whole region.
Yeah.
So today, we're going to uncover how BRNI is breathing new life into these communities, but more importantly, why their unique approach is so effective.
That's the important part, the why.
Get ready to discover some seriously inspiring projects.
For sure.
And maybe even walk away with ideas for your own neighborhood.
Yeah. That's what we want. We want you to take this home.
So what's fascinating about BRNI is that they're not just writing blank checks.
Right.
They're being very strategic about it.
They are. They're really focusing on these specific areas called sustainable communities.
Oh, okay.
Think of them as places that are primed for a comeback. They've got some solid plans in place.
Okay.
And then BRNI swoops in and kind of bridges that funding gap to really give those communities an extra push to turn their vision into a reality.
So they provide that crucial gap financing to community development corporations.
Yeah.
But what does that actually look like on the ground?
Yeah, so think of these community groups as like the boots on the ground, right? They're the ones tackling the housing, economic development,
Yeah.
Even things like transportation
Oh, wow.
and just, making neighborhoods more pleasant to live in,
Yeah, like quality of life.
quality of life. But often they just can't secure all the funding they need from like traditional sources.
Right.
So that's where BRNI steps in. They provide like that missing piece of the puzzle.
So it's like BRNI is kind of like a master puzzle solver,
Yeah.
seeing the bigger picture and how all the pieces fit together.
Yeah, I like that.
But I'm curious, how do they decide which pieces,
Right.
which communities and projects actually get that BRNI support?
Yeah, they are very selective. It's not just a free-for-all. They look for organizations with a proven track record, a really rock-solid plan,
Gotcha.
and like a real commitment to working with the community,
Oh, cool.
not just dictating from above.
Right, so it's a partnership, not a handout.
Exactly.
Right.
Uh-huh.
And their 2017 financial report really showcases this strategic approach.
Yeah, it does.
But enough about the process. Let's talk about some actual projects.
Yeah, let's get to the fun stuff.
You mentioned some really cool ones that showcase just how diverse BRNI's portfolio is.
Oh, for sure. For sure. We've got everything from, sprucing up storefronts in Bel Air Edison.
Oh, okay.
So picture like, a tired old business district getting a much-needed facelift
Okay.
to something as ambitious as like a youth athletic complex in Baybrook.
Yeah.
And then get this, they're even funding a project that uses robots to rehab historic buildings.
Robots.
Yeah, robots.
Wow. Now that's what I call bringing the future to these neighborhoods.
Isn't it cool?
It is.
Yeah.
But let's not forget the human element. Right. The stories behind these projects are what truly bring them to life.
Yeah.
I was particularly struck by the transformation of the Parkway Theater.
Oh, yeah, the Parkway. That's a fantastic example. So they received BRNI funding back in 2015.
Okay.
And now it's like this buzzing film center, breathing new life into the Station North Arts District.
That's incredible.
I know. And that's just one of countless success stories. It really shows how a targeted investment can have like a ripple effect,
Yeah.
revitalizing, not just a building,
Right.
but an entire neighborhood.
It sounds like BRNI is having a major impact. But I'm curious about the scope.
Yeah.
I was surprised to see that it extends beyond Baltimore City. Tell me more about the work happening in Anne Arundel and Baltimore counties.
Yeah, so that's actually a crucial part of their vision. They recognize that these communities are like interconnected. They're not trying to create these isolated pockets of revitalization.
I see.
So, for example, in Dundalk, BRNI is helping to attract middle-income homeowners with these forgivable loans, providing home repairs for seniors.
Okay.
And they even offer like a curb appeal fund.
Curb appeal, what is that?
Yeah, so just imagine, the impact of those like small but meaningful changes.
He's creating a ripple effect, right?
Yeah.
Spreading outward from Baltimore City
Exactly.
and transforming the entire region. What I find so compelling is that it's not just about pumping money into communities.
Right.
BRNI's 2017 financial report shows that they're actually putting that money to work,
They are.
and fast.
They are.
So that report shows that a whopping 80% of the funds awarded from 2014 to 2016 had already been put to use by the end of 2017.
Wow, yeah. That's incredibly efficient
Right.
compared to some other initiatives. But, it's not just about speed.
Yeah.
It's about impact.
Absolutely, and that brings us back to the why.
Right.
Why is BRNI so successful?
Yeah. It's the age-old question.
Is it the gap financing model? The
Possible.
focus on sustainable communities?
Maybe.
What is it?
It's a combination of factors. But I'd say a key ingredient is like their rigorous selection process.
Oh, okay.
They're not just funding every project that comes their way.
Yeah, they're not just throwing money at the problem.
Right, exactly. They're choosing communities and organizations that have a clear vision, a solid plan,
Okay.
and, a demonstrated commitment to community engagement.
So they're not just throwing money at problems, they're being incredibly strategic.
They are.
And the fact that they're focusing on sustainable communities is really interesting.
It is.
Could you break down exactly what that means?
Yeah, so these are areas that are designated by the state as having, strong potential for revitalization.
Okay.
So they've already done a lot of the legwork. They've identified their challenges.
Gotcha.
They've formulated plans.
Right.
They've built partnerships.
Uh-huh.
BRNI sees that potential, and they provide that, crucial financial boost
Yeah,
to help them achieve those goals.
I see.
It's a much more targeted approach than just, funding projects on a case-by-case basis.
So it's about empowering communities that are already taking ownership of their future.
Exactly.
That makes a lot of sense.
Mm.
And speaking of ownership, one thing that really struck me about BRNI's approach is their emphasis on community engagement.
Oh, yeah.
How do they ensure that residents have a voice in the revitalization process?
Right. So that's a really crucial part of their model. They mandate that organizations that are receiving BRNI funding demonstrate a deep commitment to community engagement.
Okay.
So this could take many forms, like, public meetings,
Mm-hmm.
surveys,
Okay.
working with resident-led groups.
Gotcha.
It's really about making sure revitalization is driven by the people who actually live in these communities.
So it's not just about shiny new buildings
No,
or impressive statistics.
it's about people.
It's about people. And this brings us to a question that's probably on everyone's mind.
Okay.
How is BRNI actually making a difference in people's lives?
Right, the big question.
What are the tangible results of their investments?
Yeah, so that's the heart of it, isn't it? And the 2017 financial report offers some, real insights.
Okay.
So, for example, in Dundalk, those homeownership programs haven't only attracted new residents,
Yeah.
but they've also, boosted property values. It's like a win-win.
Oh, wow.
Revitalized neighborhoods and stronger communities.
So BRNI is creating a ripple effect that goes beyond just individual projects.
Yeah.
They're impacting the entire economic and social fabric of these communities.
Oh, sure.
I'm curious to hear more about these success stories, the human side of BRNI's work.
Let's get into it.
So we've seen how BRNI's funding, especially that gap financing model,
Mm-hmm.
is playing a crucial role in getting these revitalization projects off the ground. But now let's dive into those inspiring stories.
Yeah.
It's like before and after pictures that really capture the human impact of BRNI's work.
Oh, I love this part.
Yeah.
Remember that Baybrook Youth Athletic Complex we talked about earlier?
Yeah.
It wasn't just some top-down idea.
Right.
It came directly from residents who saw a need for more recreational opportunities for their kids.
Okay.
And BRNI's funding helped turn that vision into a reality.
Wow.
So now imagine kids in a safe, engaging space, running around, having fun, building friendships.
Yeah.
That's what BRNI helped create.
It's amazing how something like an athletic complex can become the heart of a community,
Right.
a symbol of positive change. It
Total.
reminds me of that old saying, if you build it, they will come.
Uh-huh.
And it sounds like in Dundalk, BRNI is helping to build a whole lot more than just buildings.
Exactly.
We talked about those forgivable home loans.
Yeah.
Well, they're not just attracting new residents.
Right.
They're attracting a specific demographic, middle-income family.
Yeah. And that helps create a more diverse and stable community.
Yeah, more stable.
And, it's not just about attracting newcomers.
Yeah.
BRNI is also focused on supporting the people who are already there, like seniors.
Okay.
Those home repair programs.
Yeah.
They're allowing seniors to stay in their homes,
Yeah.
maintain their independence, and age in place.
It's about dignity.
It is.
And it's also smart economics, right?
Yeah.
It prevents displacement
Oh, sure.
and keeps those vital community members right where they belong.
Yeah.
It's like BRNI is weaving together a stronger social fabric,
Yeah.
connecting generations
Mhm.
and making sure everyone benefits from revitalization.
Right.
I'm also really intrigued by that curb appeal fund we touched on earlier.
Okay.
It seemed like a small thing, but
Don't underestimate those small things.
it's okay.
Imagine you're a Dundalk homeowner, maybe on a fixed income.
Yeah.
You can't afford like a major renovation.
Right.
But you take pride in your home.
Of course.
BRNI's Curb Appeal Fund helps you make those small but impactful improvements.
Okay.
A fresh coat of paint, fixing a broken fence, landscaping.
Yeah.
Suddenly your block looks better,
Yeah.
your property value rises,
Right.
and pride in the community grows.
It's like a chain reaction of positive change,
It's
starting with something as simple as a flower box.
Sometimes it is the simplest things.
But let's not forget, all of this requires serious funding.
Yeah.
We keep mentioning that 2017 report.
Yeah.
What kind of figures are we talking about here?
BRNI's not playing small ball.
Okay.
By the end of 2017, they'd awarded over $13.5 million in grants.
Wow.
To put that into perspective, that's an average of over $2 million pumped into revitalization every year.
That's a lot.
And we know 80% of that was already dispersed by the end of 2017.
So they're not wasting any time.
No, they are not.
That's a lot of storefronts getting spruced up, a lot of homes being repaired,
Yeah,
a lot of communities being transformed.
absolutely.
Those numbers are definitely impressive, but they don't tell the whole story.
Right.
I'm really interested in BRNI's data-driven approach.
Okay.
They're not just hoping for the best, they're actively measuring their impact, right?
Exactly. They're tracking everything. Crime rates, property values, business growth, even resident satisfaction surveys.
They really are tracking everything.
Yeah, they're not just funding projects and walking away.
Right.
BRNI uses data to make sure their investments are making a real difference.
Correct.
And they're not afraid to adjust course if something isn't working as intended.
That's a level of accountability I wish we saw more often.
Me too.
But beyond the numbers, how is BRNI fostering those intangible benefits, the sense of community,
Yeah.
the hope, the pride that revitalization can bring?
It's palpable.
What do you mean?
When you walk through a BRNI-supported neighborhood, you can feel a shift.
Okay.
People are out on their porches,
Yeah.
kids are playing in parks,
Yeah.
businesses are bustling.
Wow.
There's a sense of energy, of optimism that wasn't there before.
So they're bringing life back into these neighborhoods.
Exactly. BRNI is not just building structures, they're building a renewed spirit.
It's about giving people a reason to believe in their community again.
Yeah.
And that leads to a bigger question. What can we learn from BRNI's success, even if we're not directly involved in community development?
BRNI shows us that change starts with listening.
Okay.
They don't dictate solutions.
Yeah.
They empower residents to identify their own needs and be part of the solution.
I like that.
We can all do that in our own lives.
Wow.
Listen to our neighbors,
Oh,
support local businesses, volunteer our time,
Yeah.
even just be a friendly face.
the little things, right?
It is. It's about recognizing that we all have a stake in our communities,
Yeah.
and even small actions can make a difference.
Yeah, and if BRNI can revitalize entire neighborhoods,
Right.
imagine what we can accomplish if we all embrace that spirit of collective action.
Imagine the possibilities.
Right.
BRNI proves that community development isn't just about fixing problems, it's
Uh-huh.
about creating a better future for everyone.
It is.
Their work offers a roadmap for how we can build stronger, more vibrant, and more equitable communities.
That's a powerful thought, and it's a perfect segue into our final segment.
Okay.
BRNI is clearly making waves in the Baltimore region,
Yeah,
but the world is changing fast.
it is.
How are they adapting to meet the challenges of the future?
Get ready, because BRNI is thinking ahead, and they're not afraid to innovate.
Ooh.
We'll be diving into how they're tackling everything from changing demographics and technological advancements to the growing need for sustainability.
So we've seen BRNI's impact, their strategic approach, that data-driven model. But now we got to look ahead.
The future, yeah.
The world's changing. Communities face new challenges.
For sure.
We're talking shifting demographics.
Yep.
Technology's always evolving.
Right.
And this huge need for sustainability.
It's huge, yeah.
So how is BRNI staying ahead of the curve?
Well, they're not just reacting to these changes, they're anticipating them.
Oh, well, yeah.
Like, take demographics, for example.
Yeah.
Cities are becoming more diverse.
Right.
And BRNI understands that they're not about one-size-fits-all solutions.
Right.
They're tailoring their programs to be inclusive,
Okay.
equitable, making sure everyone benefits from this revitalization.
That's key, right?
Mm-hmm.
Recognizing that a thriving community means everyone has a voice.
It does, yeah.
Do you have any, concrete examples of how they're putting this into action?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Their support for immigrant entrepreneurs is a fantastic example.
Okay, yeah, tell me more about that.
So they've partnered with organizations that provide language training,
Oh, wow.
business development resources,
Okay.
even access to capital specifically for immigrants who are looking to start businesses.
So they're giving them the tools they need
Exactly.
to succeed.
Yeah, it's about leveling that playing field.
Yeah.
Making sure newcomers have what they need to succeed.
Yeah, and contribute.
And contribute, exactly.
That's smart. It's not just welcoming them. It's giving them that power, right,
It is, yeah.
to be part of the solution.
Absolutely.
And speaking of smart, we can't ignore the elephant in the room.
The big one.
Technology.
Yeah.
Right, it's changing everything,
It really is.
including how we approach community development. So how's BRNI adapting to that?
Well, they're not just adapting, they're like full-on embracing it.
Okay.
We talked about their data-driven approach,
Right.
but it goes even deeper than that.
Okay.
They're using these sophisticated analytics to spot trends, to pinpoint needs,
Right.
and measure the impact of their investments with laser focus.
So it's like they're using technology to work smarter, not harder.
Exactly. More precise, more effective.
But I'm also thinking about access.
Yeah.
Can technology help make BRNI's programs easier for residents to actually use?
100%.
Okay, good. They're developing these online platforms that allow residents to apply for grants,
Oh, nice.
find resources, even connect with each other,
Wow.
all from their computer or their phone.
So they don't even have to leave their house.
Not necessarily, no.
That's amazing. It breaks down those barriers, especially for folks who maybe can't always make it to meetings or deal with complicated paperwork.
It's empowering, right?
It is. It puts the power right in their hands.
And finally, we got to talk about sustainability.
The big one.
Right, it's more than a trend.
Oh, yeah.
It's a necessity.
Absolutely.
So how's BRNI integrating sustainability into their work?
For BRNI, sustainability is not just a buzzword.
Right.
It's a core value.
Okay.
They understand that healthy communities rely on a healthy planet.
It makes sense.
So they're taking a holistic approach,
Okay.
weaving sustainability into every aspect of what they do.
What does that look like in practice? Give me some concrete examples.
Sure, so they're investing in energy-efficient buildings,
Okay.
promoting green infrastructure,
Uh-huh.
supporting sustainable transportation,
Gotcha.
and advocating for policies that reduce waste and protect the environment.
Wow, so they're really tackling it from all angles.
They are. One great example is their work promoting green building practices. They partner with organizations to train developers and contractors on how to incorporate sustainable building materials,
You're right.
energy-efficient technologies into their projects.
So it's like they're building it in from the ground up.
Exactly, making it the norm.
Yeah, not the
First
exception.
afterthought, yeah.
That's smart. But what about existing buildings?
Oh, good point.
Right. Those aren't just going to disappear.
No, they're not, and BRNI recognizes that.
Okay.
They also support programs that help homeowners and businesses retrofit their existing buildings to be more energy efficient.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a win-win.
How so?
Good for the environment
Yeah.
and good for people's wallets.
It's about saving money.
And saving the planet.
Right, exactly. It's like they're finding those sweet spots where sustainability and economic benefits align.
They are, and their commitment goes beyond just energy efficiency.
Oh, okay.
They're also investing in renewable energy projects,
Wow.
supporting urban agriculture initiatives, promoting alternative transportation like biking and walking.
So they're really thinking holistically.
They are creating communities that are not just thriving, but also environmentally responsible.
Well, it sounds like BRNI is a shining example of how community development can be a force for positive change.
I think so.
They're not just revitalizing neighborhoods. They're building a more just,
Yeah.
equitable, and sustainable future for everyone.
I couldn't agree more.
Their story is an inspiration, honestly.
It is. It really is.
It shows what's possible when we combine a deep understanding of community needs with strategic thinking,
Right.
data-driven decisions,
Yeah.
and a passion for creating lasting change.
BRNI is proving that community development can be a force for good, not just in Baltimore, but anywhere.
So what does this mean for our listeners? What can we, take away from BRNI's story and apply to our own lives and communities?
I think BRNI reminds us that change starts with hope.
Oh,
Even when problems seem huge, they've shown us that progress is possible. Yeah.
and it really highlights the power of collaboration,
Right. Working together.
working together, not in silos.
Not trying to do it alone.
Exactly. And finally, they really embody the spirit of innovation, always seeking new and better ways to get things done.
Those are powerful lessons.
They are.
And, we don't all have BRNI's resources.
Right.
But we can all embrace those principles.
Absolutely.
Whether it's supporting local initiatives, advocating for policies that promote sustainability, or just, being a good neighbor.
Being a good neighbor, that's huge.
We can all make a difference.
We can.
BRNI's story is a call to action.
It is.
It's a reminder That we all have a stake in building thriving communities.
You.
Even small actions, right?
Oh, yeah, they can have a ripple effect.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into BRNI, let their work inspire you. Get
Yes.
involved in your community, be a force for positive change, and never underestimate the power of collective action.
And one last thought.
Imagine if BRNI's model was scaled up across the country.
Wow. Yeah.
Could we create a more just, equitable, and sustainable nation?
That's the question.
It is. It's the challenge and the opportunity before us.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
We hope it sparked your curiosity
Yeah.
and empowered you to make a difference.
Get out there.
Until next time, keep diving.